Hey gang, so today we're looking at something sent to us by GEEONE. It is the Guardian X1 in stainless steel. It is currently $60 on the GEEONE site, and if you use the code FidgetFix, you get 10% off. I have to say, I'm getting really kind of bored with these pivot slider designs. However, this is absolutely the smoothest pivot slider I have tried. And I've tried a bunch. If you look through all the videos that I've done, I've tried a bunch of these. This is hands down so far the smoothest. Why? I don't know, but we're gonna open it up and find out. I gotta stop playing with it first though. All right, let's get this on the camera and have a look. It is the Guardian X1. Let's go. Okay, here we go with the X1 Guardian. Now, I have not opened this yet, and that's kind of a first, for at least a first in a very long time. I prefer kind of going through the steps, opening it up so that I know what I'm in for, so that you guys aren't wasting time watching me kind of fumble with stuff and trying to figure it out. Having said that, every once in a while, I think it's kind of fun for us to sort of go through it together. Now, as I said in the intro, this is absolutely the smoothest of these pivot sliders I have tried. Now, obviously that's got a lot to do with what's going on inside here. And as we see, if I bring this up, we have different tracks with sort of different spacings inside. And so in here, we've got a much more dense pattern and a much sort of larger pattern. Now the camera's having kind of an issue picking this up because it's trying to focus on the screen. But once I open this up, we should be fine. So let's see what's in here. Now I do see right off the bat, before I open this up, I always try to assess what I'm dealing with. So I've got Teflon tracks and I've got these little grooves. This tells me obviously that this is being held in place by the Teflon tracks and that the balls are pointing that way. So I know that when I open this, when I unscrew this, I'm going to close it back up and then I'm going to lift the lid off this way. Because if I do it the opposite, if I put it down and lift the lid up, then the balls are going to fall out, the springs are going to fall out. And in some cases, there's sort of a specific configuration that happens with these that you sort of lose if everything jumps out and you haven't had a chance to even see where it sits. So I like to be very careful when I first open these up and see, you know, how the default settings are located. I don't know, see where things are at. So, sorry, if I move this over, we've got two screws there, two screws here. And then on this side, we've got a single on both sides. And we also have slide tape. So we're gonna get to that in a minute. Now, we also got, with the package, a lot of different stuff. We've got, you know, I have my own screwdriver set that I use all the time. This is just my little Amazon special, but man, this thing just is perfect. I don't need anything else. But what we get are, looks like replacement screws. We've got these bearings, these balls. We've got different ones. So we've got plastic or glass. Maybe these are glass. So that'll change the sound, definitely. We've got, looks like different strength springs. So that always, the different strength springs will typically press the ball harder or lighter into the grooves, which will always sort of produce a different sound. These balls are what is sort of called palm. It's just like a plastic. And again, different strength springs. So let's see, first of all, I'm gonna put these over here because I don't like distraction. I don't like you guys being distracted. And also two different replacements for slide tape. I am not a fan of slide tape. It's on here. I'm gonna leave it on here for now, but what I find eventually with slide tape is that it pulls away from the edges. I mean, it's literally happening right here, and this one is brand new. But you can see right there, it's already pulling away. And then that just kind of gums things up, I find, after a while. So I tend to take it off. I'm not a fan of slide tape, but like I said, let's see what happens. Okay, we don't need this. because we got this. So let's get this off the track first. Now I do see too, sometimes these have patches that can kind of come off that are held magnetically. This one doesn't. We do have lanyard hold here and lanyard holes here. So you can actually put a lanyard on either side, which is nice. I haven't actually seen many of these that, or have I even seen one that lets you put the lanyard on either side? I don't think I have. Okay. Now usually with these, all the guts, like everything that's important is right in this spot, because there's a collar here and it's pushing balls out into these tracks. And then there are likely springs and balls inside the collar that are giving us a little click as we turn it. So let's get this open first. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to very carefully open it up. So what we see here is that we have our two balls lining up with the I call this the zipper track. This to me, these little, you know, like the dents track, this is what I love. I love this zipper feeling, the zipper sound. But we can also put it out to the outer ball. So let's do that. Now, no, the minute I was trying to be, I hate that. I hate when the ball falls in here. Now, of course, by the way, these tracks, these just come right out. So I get. So again, if you're new to these, it's a very simple way of designing something. This pivot has a kind of like a wider plate on it with this little lip here. And what happens is these little Teflon tracks go, let's see if we can focus here. These little Teflon tracks go against or like underneath the little ridge. And because they screw into the lid, it prevents the lid from pulling away. So it's a really cool way to build it. The only thing is I'm having these separate pieces always, like I'm not super comfortable with that. And the other thing being that sometimes these wear down. That's something else that kind of bothers me. All right, so now here's one thing that's important is to put the slide tape on or to take it off, you absolutely do have to separate it. So now I am going to, for the sake of this video, I'm going to take this slide tape off and we will look at what sounds better with or without the tape. Now, I'm going to guess that with the tape off, we may get some scratching happening. Oh, you know what? We have to take the tape off anyways, even if we wanted to open up this collar. So there you go. Little stainless steel mark right here. What's that say? 461. Okay, so get rid of that. So there are, I mean, you can kind of really play with this a lot. Now, what I want to do, now also in here, this is pretty common, but here, I'll just open this up. Let's let everybody have a look. I'm going to, of course, clear my work area. All right. Now, I have not seen a device like this holding a collar down before. That's new for me. This kind of outer ring, which is sort of cool. Now, this is something that I do see people kind of rush through sometimes. They'll take it, they'll flip it, they'll tap it, but you really have to, excuse me, but you really have to secure the collar first. to get these screws out. And sometimes the screw gets stuck, so you can do a couple things. You can turn it over, and I'm comfortable enough to do that. However, if this is kind of like your first time working with this, find a magnet. Now in this case, the screw set that I have comes with this little magnet bit. And there we go. So it's great for just pulling screws out. You can even use a stack of magnets. Now, again, I know that these, and I know it because I've worked on these before. I know that the balls are pushing this way. So this again is one of those moments where I don't want to lift up here. If I lift up here, everything's going to fall out. Now this one is tricky because there's this collar. So when I flip it upside down, I want to kind of slide it onto something. So what I'm going to do is use this because that lets me see like I can't put this down flat without it falling off, right? So if I do this, then I can kind of slide it on and then turn it over. Now that little black collar ring has fallen and that's fine. But then I just lift this up. Ooh, look at that. Oh, wow. So there are a whole bunch of configurations. So again, this outer ring is another dense. Let's see, bring up here. This outer ring, it has a dense ring, and then the inner ring has a slightly more spaced out track. So you'll get probably half the amount of clicks, but a sharper click versus the zipper. I like the zipper. I am going to keep the zipper configuration. This is enough that you guys at least know that you can switch it out. Got a little bearing in there. Now, what we also have are 3 balls. And because there are in these spare bags here, having 3 balls tells me that what we are meant to experiment with is the collar, because there are only 3. If there were other combinations of 2, I would say, oh, these are the spares for the track. So that's something we can try. Let's try the glass. I don't know if that's going to work as well, but okay, over there. All right. Now you have to be really, really careful when you're using tweezers on balls like this, because if it squeezes too hard, then the balls go screaming across your room, never to be found again. Yeah, that fits there, okay? That's why I love these tweezers so much, is I just find it's easier to regulate the pressure. Okay, so we have our little collar here. I'm going to take it, flip it upside down, press it down. Now, because I have it, remember, on this lid, this is easier for me to slide off and grab. I don't know if that's really much different, but let's see. Now, I would like to take a minute to thank Chenyu for using the same screws throughout. I cannot stand when I have to change a bit on my screwdriver because the outer shell screw is different from the inner screw they use. That's got a different sound to it. Louder, I guess. All right. Well, let's put this together and we'll see how it sounds. Now, the nice thing is, as you've seen, these are really, really simple to put together. The trick is we have to make sure that our little track here goes on before we put it together. Now, you'll notice here, you may notice here, there is like a, oops. This is kind of hard to pick up on camera, but these little Teflon tracks on one side have this little indent in them. So if I put this, oh yeah, maybe we'll catch it. Let's see. Are we catching it with the light? So there's this little space here on one side, and I'm not sure if that matters yet. Oh, of course it does. So that's the side, that's the, what am I talking about? So that's kind of the hole where the screws are gonna sit down in. So what we wanna do, and now that's important, that was important to figure out. That means it has to be facing this way, because when the screw goes in, you want the screw to be flush. So if I know that the screw has to go down this way, okay? This is where it gets a little counterintuitive for people who are not used to these things. When this goes on here, it's going to be like this. So what I have to make sure is that the sort of the bigger opening side, and I know this will seem weird, has to face down for now. And it'll make sense in a minute, I promise. So again, you take the opening of the hole, face down. We'll do that. And again, I like the dents. If you want to experiment, if you like other sounds, you go for it. I don't want to make this a 20-minute video where I'm like putting balls in each track and testing things out. So I'm just going to go back to what I like. Get back here. Okay. So see, now that that's on, see, now the holes are facing the right way. And the screw is flush. The other thing I don't like about these little Teflon strips is that you can over tighten them. And if you over tighten them, it adds more pressure here and changes the action of the whole piece. So that's something to consider. Now, the other thing that's a little, a little annoying is that you have to go all the way down to opening the thing up completely to basically take advantage of these different types of balls that were sent to tune it up. And the same with the springs, because again, not only can you use the different balls, you can also use the different strength springs, which again, we've got 3 of. So clearly the intention is to modify the collar. So that's normal, but that's good. The glass gives it a bit slightly more clicky sound. Not a huge jump though from what it was. And I don't feel any difference with the slide tape off, like none. So that's gonna be a personal preference if you want slide tape on or off. I hate slide tape, I really, really do. Okay, let me put this away, get our final shot. So that's it, gang. This is actually a really nice little pivot slider. Again, I feel like we have enough of these now. Like, we don't need more. Like this is good. Let's say this is the last one in terms of makers, guys. It's like the bottle cap opener or the bottle opener. We don't need another one. So this is great. This is really well built. This might be the best one I've tried. Certainly the way you can open it up and configure it, it feels like it kind of has everything. So I don't think we need another pivot slider. Let's stop at this one because this one's great. But we'll see. I'm sure more will come out and I'll be happy to review them. But I think this one kind of nailed it. There we go. Let's get that little logo in there. Okay, gang. So just remember 10% off at GEEONE. Thanks for watching.